So Kid Galahad defeats, is it Claudio Marrero? Stopped them after 8 rounds. Kid Galahad looked quite good in this fight. I don't think he barely even lost the round, maybe only the second round. He did what he had to do. He beat Marrero into submission basically. Marrero is 30 years old, from the Dominican Republic, 24-4 as of now. He coming off a win over Eduardo Ramirez. He's actually a decent fighter. He's not too shabby. And obviously he lost to King Tug. Lost over 12 rounds to King Tug. He's fighting Gary Russell Jr. later on this evening. How do I assess Galahad's performance? Well, Galahad, we know he's not the most entertaining fighter in the world. I think that goes without saying. But he's very awkward. He's a southpaw. He's not a devastating puncher, to say the least, by no stretch of the imagination. But he's respectable punching power there. Like I said, he's an awkward southpaw from the Ingle gym. Sky was saying crafty. He was crafty in things he was doing, in the sense of the rule breaking. Because he was grabbing onto his opponent. There was forearms going in there. He was stepping on his foot. And look, that does happen when a southpaw faces an orthodox fighter. But even Sky said it's happening a bit too much to be just the simple accident. So Galahad, he does break rules in there, but a lot of fighters break rules. To assess his performance, yes, he looked very good. He done well. He gave a good account of himself, and obviously he got the guy out of there. He's picking his opponent up actually right about now and just carrying him around the ring. So that's interesting. But yeah, Galahad, assess his performance. Decent performance by Kid Galahad. He did what he had to do. Went out and got the win, as was expected, to be fair. Now, he is now, as far as I believe, mandatory for Josh Warrington. Now, I don't know if they're going to call that mandatory this year, or whether it's going to... Well, I'd imagine so, actually, because they fought round about last year. So it'll probably be towards the end of this year when that mandatory needed to be enforced. I never really understand it. I always find it strange when you have a guy who gets a mandatory shot, and maybe it's because the Josh Warrington fight was close. I think that might be the reason. But I always found it strange when you have a guy who gets his mandatory shot, he loses, and then the next fight, it's a final eliminator. So it's like, what happened to the guy who was maybe like 3rd ranked or 4th ranked? So I think maybe they gave Kid Galahad this because maybe there was no one else, or maybe just purely because they felt that the fight with Josh Warrington was close. It's not a fight, even the Sky team alluded to it, it's not a fight that we're, dying to see. Make no stretch of the imagination. I don't think anybody is really, jumping to the high heels to see the rematch between those two. We know Warrington can be entertaining. He can punch a little bit, keeps a high work rate. Galahad is the opposite. He's awkward. He's quite negative. So the first fight was not great. Not great to say the least. I mean, we're going to have to see a second fight unless Josh Warrington gets that Shakur Stevenson fight, which that'd be an interesting fight. And I'd much prefer to see Stevenson against Kid Galahad, because I like watching Shakur Stevens. But looks for all the world like we're going to get the rematch between Warrington and Kid Galahad. As I said, I'm not jumping to the high hills to see that fight. It's not top of my list for 2020 of fights I want to see. But IBF are sticklers when it comes to their mandatories. They really are sticklers. They don't make any real exceptions at all. So looks like we're going to see that next. In terms of our Kid Galahad's performance, as I said, it was clockwork-like performance. Barely lost a round in there. Was much the superior fighter. And obviously got the guy out of there. The corner the corner stopped it. It was going that way anyway. So the corner showed mercy. They saved their guy from taking a further beating. And that's all she wrote. So those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. There's Dominic Ingle. I'm not going to say any more. And as always, I will talk to you after.